It takes centuries for a civilization of 8 to 9 billion people to change its way of life. But our current civilization does not have that much time to change. We will not scare you with nuclear war and pandemics, but we will not remain silent about the rapidly growing global problems either. We will simply show you how you can change faster.
DH Experiment, humanity's first large-scale international online experiment. Part 0. How does the experiment work? This is an Erin Brockovich story that is just beginning, and you are Erin. More precisely, those who take the experiment seriously. That could be you. When Erin began investigating the cause of mysterious illnesses in 1993, she had no idea what a huge task lay ahead of her, or how successful she would be. The participants in the DH experiment also do not know what kind of task or success awaits them. All they know is that humanity will fail if the experiment fails. 20 of the remaining 25 parts of the experiment will prove this strong claim. I will tell you the new rules. From now on, we will not read the text aloud, as you are an adult and this is not a fairy tale.
say that now.
Okay, we're waiting for you now. We took
That's good.
All right, lay it out.
Okay. What are they looking for? Let them see. Who can see? Where's that coming from? Four. Make it a guy. All right.
Trust it.
All right, let's see where we're gonna go next.
Keep it.
What do you think? Looks like it's already just my book.
Glad I'm not playing this game. All right. See that? Looks like you're still.
How does the experiment work? It's like a marriage. There are roles and responsibilities. Just like in a marriage, these must be taken seriously. If it succeeds, the subjects of the experiment will make history. If not, the pages of history will remain blank.